Everybody was kung fu fighting. Those cats were fast as light.
So Kung Fu Panda 3 is the third installment in the Kung Fu trilogy, and obviously. And it stars Jack Black and the rest of the returning cast from the other Kung Fu Panda movies, as well as Bryan Cranston as Po's father. Taking his next steps in Kung Fu, Po now has to become a teacher of the martial art, as well as learn how to become more of a panda when he runs into his father. And while all this is going on, he's gonna have to go up against another bad guy, a chi-stealing villain named Kai. Now, of course, I've enjoyed the last two Kung Fu Pandas. They've been so much fun, and this one is another example of that. And first off, I have to say I really like the animation style in this film. When they're doing all of their martial arts and Kung Fu, and the animation in the background is very familiar to like Japanese anime and other animation styles of that genre. But the attention to like detail in this film is amazing. The color scheme and the color palette that they use in the film is brilliant. And there's so many wide shots in this movie where it's just I sit there, I'm like, wow, that looks really, really good. And another thing that I really enjoyed in these films over the trilogy was the martial arts. The fight scenes are choreographed really well, and the way that each animal moves is distinctive to their style of fighting. I really liked how they tailored the fighting styles to each animal, how they move and how an animal would actually fight in the animal kingdom. I really liked that part of it. And I like the fact that the characteristics of Po and what he's learned in the past film isn't wiped clean. They don't forget what he did in the last film. It's just everything he learns from previous film is built on top of the other, and that's the way martial arts is. I mean, I grew up doing martial arts, and you never stop learning things. And I like that aspect of the film, and they build on top of what they've learned. And there's always something new you can learn from life in general, and just sort of translate that into martial arts. That's something I really appreciated, because that's how I feel. I've practiced martial arts since I was 7. And I practice as much as I can nowadays with with life getting in the way. And that's just something I always found in martial arts, is you never stop learning new things, and that's something that's very present in this film, and I really appreciated that. But after that, something that I've noticed in all the Kung Fu Panda movies, that it's kind of like the overall message and overall tone is sort of glossed over. All the lessons that you learn, that you're supposed to learn, that kids are supposed to learn from this film, isn't really focused on. It's mostly just jokes and fighting and action and things like that. And like the underlying message that the filmmakers are trying to get across of the in this film is always just kind of like overshadowed by everything else in the film. And the problems I have with the jokes is that a lot of the jokes in this movie are very in your face and very childish. And there's one thing that I really wish they would have done with the jokes, was be a little bit more subtle, not so in your face. And one character that did that for me, and pretty much the first one and this one, was Wise Turtle Oogway. His jokes were just so were peppered in really nicely and timed really well, and they're a little bit more mature jokes, and it's understandable for his character. But like all of Poe's jokes were just so like childish, and I get it because this is a children's film. And like I said before, all the substance in this movie, there really wasn't much, because it's glossed over with all the children's jokes and the kung fu and the fighting and the action. And like, it's not like to say this movie didn't have any substance. I mean, it did have this nice little line message of family, and like how Poe's adopted father is a little jealous of his birth father, and he's afraid of losing him. It was like stuff like that I wish I saw a little bit more of. And just when those moments came up, it gave you time to sort of let the movie breathe, and you sort of just lay back from all the action that you were getting. But then as soon as that scene ended, it went back to all the childish jokes, and the movie overall was extremely predictable at times. I mean, there's this point where he shows up at the Panda Village, and you see all the characters doing all these certain things, and you're like, well, Poe's supposed to be a teacher, so I know he's going to be teaching these pandas to do this by, and just you can really see things coming a mile away. But aside from all that, again, I had fun with this film, and I'm not going to hold it to like a higher standard, because that's not what this movie is. This movie definitely knows what it wants to be, and it does it very well. So Kung Fu Panda 3 gets a very well-deserved good game. You know, it seems like movie tickets are getting more and more expensive nowadays. I usually go see movies in the middle of the day, and at matinee price now, it's like $10, $11, and it can get pretty expensive to see as many movies as I do, unless you have MoviePass. It's accepted nationwide, and you can see a movie every 24 hours for a flat monthly rate. So sign up by going here and get your first couple of weeks of MoviePass for free. So, Kung Fu Panda 3, have you seen it? What did you think about it? Leave a comment below, tell me your thoughts. Please, if you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up button below. And if you haven't already, subscribe. And as always, thank you so much for watching. If you like this, you can click right here and see more videos. Bye, Andrew.